What is up, guys? Welcome to the Penthouse 5 podcast, episode number 4. Damn.
Is it 4?
Still going, yeah, it's 4.
Yes.
3 was with Francesca. Some weird noise in my bedroom. Anyway, beep, cut that bit out.
Staying in.
Yeah, staying.
Unfiltered.
Anyway, Penthouse 5, episode 4. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome on YouTube if you're watching. Welcome to Spotify, Apple Music, or whatever podcast platform you are watching or listening on. So this episode is a little bit different. We actually know what we're going to talk about this episode.
Yeah.
We just finished watching the second part of the Michael Jackson documentary. First part was last night. This is from the UK if you're watching it in any other country.
It's called Leaving Neverland.
Yep. So we're just going to talk about our thoughts on it. So we just finished watching it and then we set up for the podcast and now we're chatting about it. So yeah, what were your thoughts on the maybe before we go
into details, we should just, disclaimer. Obviously, the documentary is based on the accounts of two people.
Anything we say from now is our opinion.
Yeah, it's just
not
an opinion.
Fact or anything. It's our opinion and our thoughts on this stuff.
Yeah, we're just reacting to a documentary that we saw. That's all it is.
Cool. But anyway, for those of you who haven't seen the documentary, it's just two guys who are now coming forward, isn't it? Who obviously spent a lot of time with Michael Jackson
in the late 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, and in the early stages of their life, like 7 to 14 or something like that time period. And it's just their account, isn't it? Their account now on what actually happened. And
they go into quite a lot of kind of graphic detail. It's pretty hard to watch.
Yeah, they don't show you anything, obviously.
No, not in that sense.
Because
but
there's
just
nothing of
the
that.
Things they're discussing. Yeah.
So if you haven't watched it, just know that if you do watch it, it's very graphic in the detail that they talk about. So you wouldn't want to be watching it with anyone I
wouldn't watch it with kids.
Yeah. So that being said, let's talk about it. What we thought of the actual overall of the documentary that we watched. What are your thoughts on it? I think
first of all, what we have to say before we talk about our opinions, we will have been massive fans of Michael Jackson.
We should start there maybe.
I think before I give my opinion, I have to make it clear that, regardless of what side of the fence I might be on, I'm obviously going to be biased in some respects because Michael Jackson's been a huge part of my life. He's been a big reason of why I pursued music. Because the Bad album was one of the first albums I ever got as a child, and it's still probably my favourite album ever. And he's been a huge influence on my life and what I do now. So it's difficult to step back and look at it objectively when you have that emotional tie. I'm trying to step back as much as I can and look at it from an unbiased, fair point of view, but I just want to say that it's kind of impossible for me to do that just because of the emotional connection. So that's gonna.
What's your like when did you first hear Michael Jackson, like the music and stuff?
I don't remember when I exactly first what I did, but my middle brother was a massive Michael Jackson fan, and he used to have a CD player in his room, just always playing Michael Jackson. So just kind of grew up with it, and then obviously growing up in the 90s, it was massive, and then all of this sort of kicked off when I was like year 6, I think would have been. So then.
But you didn't obviously know much about it then. We were kids, innit?
When
it
all
was
kicked
going
off,
on.
like the accusations and stuff in 2003, I think it was. That I was too young to really sort of understand or care.
You're too young to process that kind of information.
And everyone was kind of like, oh, he's a pedo and this and the other, and you're like, yeah, but he's a sick musician. You don't really care, but when you grow up and now something like this comes out and you think it's not right, for someone like that. If anyone, imagine a celebrity nowadays walking around, no matter how big they are, holding some other child's hand and having kids stay in there. It's just not right. Whether he did actually abuse them or not, it's messed up, man. You shouldn't be doing that.
My earliest experience of Michael Jackson music, I remember clearly because I remember the first song I ever remember listening to was the Earth song. My favourite song of all time, like when it comes
he
to Michael
touches the
Jackson.
tree and then he's like, chainsaw's there. Yeah.
But that
What
song
music video?
was sick. Like everything. I listen to it now, like, or I haven't listened for a while, but like just like the bass in it, so low, the drums, the production on it. Like now I'm older and I'm a musician and stuff. I listen to it differently now. But I remember when I was a kid, I had that on tape. And I brought it into school. I think I was in year 1 or 2 or something. I remember like saying to the teacher, I want to put this on because we were doing something and they wanted music or something like that.
Okay.
And I remember like requesting that being on. I brought it in with me, and I just remember like loving it and just like wanting to share it with like all my friends. And like, I didn't know if they knew who Michael Jackson was or whatever, but I just knew I was like a massive fan from that song onwards. And yeah, I remember like even dancing in my bedroom and stuff when I was like a bit older than that to the music and stuff.
A bit of a hard one to dance to that.
Not that song, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that for me was my first memory I have of the music anyway, and it's like watching the videos as well. Is it Moonwalker? Have you ever seen that film?
Yeah.
Like that stuff and
Just a girl.
and Blood on the Dance Floor. I remember that album when I was like a teenager or something that came out. And Ghost as well, that film when it came out. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Patrick Swayze one.
What? No. That's the one that everyone knows, but yeah, this is like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we all have, I guess, like, because we are musicians now, but we have that, I don't know, that influence, and it's like for a long time. Any musician is influenced by Michael Jackson in some way, I would say.
Especially if you're into the
pop, R&B, rock.
If you've listened to any of the videos or the audio that we've produced on our Instagram or YouTube page, you can listen to that and see the inspirations from almost any kind of R&B song. There's going to be you look at the modern stars of today, you listen to Charlie Puth and Justin Timberlake, Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
it's all Michael Jackson.
Massively influenced by him.
Yeah,
100%. As well as other artists, of course, like James Brown and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
He's a massive influence in like I think that's the thing is like there's not an artist out there since and probably before as well that's got the impact he's had or made the impact he's had. And like so many current artists right now.
You could argue like Beatles, Elvis.
Yeah.
Pop.
But I would say like Beatles, like there's some people like our age that like the Beatles and probably younger as well. But I would say there's more people that would be fans of Michael Jackson or know who he is. It's more likely my gran.
Well,
I think someone older would be a fan of the Beatles.
Part of that though, as well as the music, is the
timing as well, isn't it? Like
yeah, timing.
60s, 70s, and then 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
But with Michael Jackson, I think part of it as well is the fascination with him as a person, because as well as his music and how many people, I'm pretty sure is Thriller still
the biggest selling album of all time?
I think so. Yeah,
because they don't do albums anymore.
Yeah,
don't count that. It's still streaming.
And all the music and how much influence he had, but as a person as well, he was such a weird character, and I think that added to the fascination and the mystery of him, because he was just such a strange guy. And then now you've got all this kind of stuff.
So what that's our inspiration. Like we have a lot. There's obviously more than that. Like of our musical tastes and like our experiences listening to music of Michael Jackson when we were younger and growing up with it, and being musicians now. But what's on the documentary side of things? What's like your takeaways, or what was your feeling that you got now? So like now you've seen it all. What's your feeling?
It's kind of weird because it's like we said earlier, like because he's dead now. It's kind of weird. It's because I kind of feel like no matter what the outcome is, it doesn't really matter, because it's a bit like he's not here anymore to I don't know. Can't really hate him
to defend himself or to get repercussions of anything. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like he's dead now. It's like what's done is done. If it comes out it is all true, it's obviously horrible. It's a horrible thing that's happened. But I mean, his music's still great. I'll still listen to it. But
that's the thing I think is for our take anyway, is being musicians and stuff. It's like like can you separate the music from the person? Like, so I think I would say from the documentary is that like the documentary doesn't prove 100% that it's actual 100% fact, like, and that's it, and then the story is
it's
done.
not even close. It's
Yeah.
just two people's
It's
story.
literally an opinion. Well, it's not opinion. It's their story,
Their
right?
accounts of what happened. Yeah.
So whether you believe it or not is up to you, I guess, the viewer, isn't it? If you believe the documentary. So
I mean, yeah, you watch a
It's-
documentary, an hour-long documentary on like
Anything.
Earth, the Earth's flat. They'll convince you that the Earth's flat.
yeah, if that's the point of view, that's completely right. But whether it's true or not, that's what we're not saying. That like whether it's true or not, we're saying like the point of view of the documentary is from their perspective, and their perspective is it 100% happened. That's the truth, and that's what it is. So if you watch it, the whole story, the whole documentary is told that way, and it's done its absolute most to show you that is the truth. That might be the truth, and I don't know, but there are no facts in there. 100%.
But there's
like,
also,
you know.
I'd have to say that it's like trying to be this is one way, this is this is that.
Mhm.
But then you also have to be like, well, it kind of had to be a little bit because there's videos, there's so much footage of him just around these little kids all the time, and it's just kind of a bit like I said earlier, man. Like if you're sleeping in a bed with a child that's not yours in the first place, is it really like that extreme and that crazy to then go to that next step and do these things that he's been accused of? I
Yeah.
don't think it is, man. Like, and you know, he was a weird guy, and you know, whether he knew it was wrong or whatever, I don't know, or whether he was sick. But I mean, again, man, if you're going that far, you should have never been allowed to go that far.
Should never have been allowed.
But if you are,
100% agree with that.
then it's a bit like, why wouldn't he go that extra step further? And
That's the thing. Your point is 100% spot on. But it's like that thing. Like we will never know. Us three will never, and you know, we will never know. It's that only he will know, and only the people that were involved will actually 100% know. Like unless something actually came out, like actual video footage or something happening, we will never know. It's only based on
it's
all
like,
these things.
my,
You know.
my
There's-
word versus your word.
Yeah, exactly. But on your point, it's like, what was I gonna say? Can't remember now. You can.
I was going to say, I guess maybe it's not relating to the specific documentary, but there's been a lot of evidence that's been brought up in court cases in the past, where it's impossible to deny there's at least some form of grooming. Like there's evidence of fingerprints, of his fingerprints and other kids' fingerprints in, like, you know, in pornography and adult content and bits and bobs, in books and whatever that he's had in his house. And so it's like there's, if that's been scientifically proven, there's no one that can deny that. You know, there's no context in which that's not normal. Like or there's no context, in which
It's
that
acceptable or
isn't.
anything like that.
Yeah, that like that, even if he didn't molest them in any way, that's still, you know, there's. I think there's
I get what you're saying.
there's so much, so many stories and so much evidence and so many times this has happened. Whether he abused these kids, I don't know, but I don't think anyone can deny that he did a lot of inappropriate things.
Yeah.
He
it's
did a
like
lot of things
how-
that he
yeah,
shouldn't
like
have been
how
doing,
far-
that he shouldn't have been allowed to do.
And like how far, like where's the line between like abuse? Is it like actual sex, like,
Or if you're talking
actual
about like the
intercourse?
physical,
or is it just
abuse that
like
happens,
laying in bed with a child? It's clearly uncomfortable.
that's still
like,
not a
Yeah.
good thing.
I think what on your point I was just saying, like you're saying the fact that he was in bed with a child, whether something happened or not, is bad enough. You know, like but that's the thing. If you've done that, right? So you're in bed and there's a kid there as well, and you've put yourself in that situation. That leaves it open for it either to flip on the side where you can be accused of everything, and all this stuff can come up if it's true or not. You know. But also on his side, he might think he's completely innocent. Nothing might have happened, and it's like, and you know, but you don't know. For us, I mean, and for majority of people, like, you would never put yourself in that situation
No.
because of the fact that you think, any logical person would think, like the worst, like people are gonna think real bad shit is happening. Like, of course
there's
like,
just
why
there's
would you
just
put that
lines that
situation?
you don't cross. There's things as an adult that society says
then it comes
don't
into
do these things.
Yeah, then it comes into his environment, the way he grew up, like being
That's
a
a very good
celebrity
point.
from
But I don't see.
child,
I still don't see there's a defense to it. It's
not
still-
defense, no. But I think like
Just
what
to
I'm saying
understand
is
his mindset.
his
I guess,
mindset
yeah.
is obviously not like anyone else's. You know, like we say, us three, and majority of people out there would not have someone else's kid in their bed if they were like 30 years old. You know, like why would you do
But
that?
then that's what I don't understand. You get like legitimate paedophiles who do not think it's wrong. They don't. They
100%.
They just
Yeah.
go with it. They just that's what
Yeah.
they want. They like kids. They like kids.
Yeah.
Like with someone like him, he's clearly like hiding it and trying to get away with it if you want, because the amount of like millions he had to pay off for out of court settlements and stuff. It's like if you're hiding it and you know it's wrong, like why are you still doing it?
But
Is
to
it-
counter that point with the out of court settlements and the amount of money, were you saying in the Forbes article that it was like $1.5 billion that one of the guys in this documentary originally
trying
tried to
to
sue
get,
the Michael
yeah.
Jackson estate for? Like, for regards to the guy in this documentary, you raised a really good point, which is, you know, if you wanted to just get the truth out there,
Don't accept money.
Yeah, why? If you take money out of it, you can't have anyone accuse
no
you of
argument
only
against you,
doing
yeah.
it for the money.
If you're the one suing them, and my argument would be you're doing it for the money because you broke on your ass now. That's what every argument has always been throughout this whole process. If it was legit and you wanted the truth out, you know, and you said there was no money, you were after any money, then what argument is there for why you wanted the truth out?
And then, as well as that, going back to the settlement he had in the 90s, what kind of parent are you if you're like, why is there a financial line where, you know, you go,
100%.
you know, is it okay for Michael Jackson to do inappropriate things with your child for 1 million? No. 2 million? No. 10 million? No. 20 million? Okay, cool. Yeah, fine, that's okay.
I'll
Like,
take the
that
money and
shouldn't
go.
be, there shouldn't be that line. If something like that's happened to your child, money should be irrelevant.
Yeah.
And why
I
are
don't
you
know,
settling out of court?
But unless you're faced with that situation, you'll never know. Like,
Yeah, of course.
someone
We'll
like
never know.
slaps
That's
20 million down in front of you. You know, you'll never know. It's
Yeah.
never going to happen to any of us.
Yeah. That's a fair point, and that's exactly this whole thing. We will never know. We'll never know the answer, and we'll never be in that position. Like, it's all debating, really.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. It's the point of view that you choose to take after watching this.
So
If you choose to watch it.
kind of slightly moving it more to kind of
Music.
a musical point of view. So there was a recent news that I think it's BBC Radio 2 have decided that they're going to stop playing Michael Jackson's music. And like, what do you guys think about that? And do you think that
This is the point we should really talk about, because like I think the documentary speaks for itself, and if you choose to watch it, you choose to watch it, and then you make up your own opinion on it at the end, because like we said, there's no, it's not like the defining thing. It's like, yes, he's guilty, end of story, the world moves on. Like, it's not like that. So with regards to the music, I think that's our point, really. I'm not so sure you can take, I don't know, like if you can, if there was a final answer on it and he was guilty, I think that would be a different story with banning music and not playing his music anymore. Especially for us, we play like weddings and stuff, and we have some of the music in our repertoire. So it's like, if it was 100% yes, he's done it, guilty, and you know, then the whole world is like, don't play his music because, you know, PRS and stuff like that, like the money from that gets paid to whatever. So yeah, we would stop playing it probably, but the fact it's a
I don't
question
think
mark.
that would last though. I think there's
Too much music
if
as
it
well.
was almost any other, if it happened to almost any other musical artist ever.
Well, take
I
R.
think-
Kelly for example. Like, I don't think he's matches up anywhere near the level of artist that Michael Jackson is, and people are calling out for his music to be banned, like R. Kelly, right? And he's been found guilty or whatever. I think it's a lot more clearer, you know.
I think
on the
it's
answer.
it's easier to say, okay, we're going to stop playing R. Kelly's music, and it's not going to have anywhere near the impact
yeah,
of
for sure.
if you say we're not going to play any of Michael
But
Jackson's
also,
music
the
at all.
difference is R. Kelly's alive. I don't want to listen or play R. Kelly's music knowing that
He's gonna get money.
he's going to get money for it. I mean, I'm not saying me personally.
Yeah.
I don't really care what he does, fucks up, but I mean, he's still got some great songs. Like, you know, if someone came
Yeah,
on,
I
would
think.
be like, what?
Yeah.
Do it.
I think that's the point. It's that the music shouldn't be separated from the artist, and I think it should be, because, like, for example, Michael Jackson's music is produced by
Quincy Jones.
and other people as well. There's musicians involved, there's the producers, there's the engineers, there's all these people behind the scenes. Like anything of real quality value, there's a lot of people behind that. It's not just Michael Jackson, it's not just the artist, it's so many people. Obviously he's the talent, he performed it, he dances, all the rest of it, but there's so many people behind the music, and the music is the most influential thing to us, at least. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess the argument in favour of that is, you know, listening to by listening to Michael Jackson's music, you know, that's not a reflection of Michael Jackson the person and Michael Jackson's
Absolutely.
actions and his thoughts
Yeah,
and
and
feelings.
it's not like you listen to it and you agree with
It's
what,
just
like,
a
Yeah,
piece.
it's
It's
not-
just a piece of art that he created in a moment in time that millions of people love.
and if that was the basis on how you had to judge it, I mean, there'd be so much that would have to be taken out of society, you know, like
Oh, yeah.
art, like
That's
actual
what I was about to say,
paintings,
yeah.
like,
Well, no one's 100% clean.
Buildings.
Everyone's done
that's the thing,
something
like,
wrong to
It's
different
like, I
degrees.
didn't think it sold for much, or I don't think it sold at all, but they're like auctioning off Hitler's paintings and stuff. And it's like, where do you draw the line? Like,
Well, yeah,
so
but
you won't listen to
you-
Michael Jackson's music, but you hang a picture up
But
that,
if
of
you-
a man who
yeah.
killed 6 million people.
You go back through like the history of pop music. It's gonna be hard to find someone with such a clean record that they
It's
did absolutely
impossible.
nothing wrong. You know,
I don't
James
think it's
Brown
possible.
is one of the most influential artists ever. He was a real piece of shit at times, and he treated a lot of people badly. You know, you've got
Take it for example as well. Steve Jobs, the biggest company in the world is Apple,
yeah,
and he is notoriously known for being horrible to people.
yeah. He was
Like,
treated
it's
his
in
staff
it's
really
in
poorly.
films of him, it's in documentaries of him. He was like, and at the end of his life, just before he died, he knew had been a piece of shit, like as a human being, like to other people, and treated people badly.
It's like you
doesn't
mentioned
mean-
Quincy Jones earlier on. Have
Mm.
you guys seen the Quincy Jones documentary on Netflix?
No.
That discusses, you know, as successful as he was in his career, you know, he had
Failed
his
marriages and
marriage has
stuff,
failed,
yeah.
and he didn't spend anywhere
Mm.
near as much time with his kids
Ray
that he should have.
Charles.
And
as
he,
well.
he says that openly. He's like, I really, you know, at parts of my life, I abandoned my kids to you know, pursue my career and my goals
Yeah.
and my dreams and stuff. So it's like, you know, you go down that line. It's like, where's
Where do
the
you draw
line?
the
Where do you
line?
draw the line?
Paedophilia, probably. Which is why which is why we're at where we're at.
Yeah, well, when you put it like that, then
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. And back to the first point is, if it's 100% clarified, yes, that's what he did, then it's up for the world to decide, isn't it? Like, then you make your decision 100%,
Yeah.
and it's more likely going to be like, yeah, we don't listen to his music anymore.
I still don't know if that
But-
would happen, because it's like, you got, you know, Chris Brown's been convicted.
That's just
of-
another
of
example, man.
ass-
It's just
assault
another.
and stuff, and
yeah.
people were like, yeah, that was really bad, and then a couple of years later he's back out doing tunes and everyone's buying his albums again.
Yeah.
I don't think that, even if that were to happen, I don't think that you could just whitewash his whole
You
career.
can't. Yeah.
His impact
too
and his
much.
legacy is
Yeah.
just
Yeah, that's
too
what I
big.
It's
and
it's not just
too far-reaching.
musicians. It's musicians. It's artists. It's dancers. It's production people. I mean, there's multiple careers that are affected by and inspired by Michael Jackson. Like, not just us being musicians, keyboard player, drummer, bass player. Like, it's way bigger than that, you know. And it's on such a level that is unparalleled to anyone else.
Yeah.
And like, the clips of the fans in that documentary that are like, we hate you for doing this, and like,
To the guys and their stories. Yeah,
yeah, because they're such dedicated fans and they love his music in like an insane level, you know. I guess every artist out there has like those kind of fans, but he has them on a global
Arguably
scale.
more than
It's
anyone
like,
else.
you know, you just Google anything like, or YouTube anything Michael Jackson that's not him. Remember that prison thing in like South Korea or something like that? I can't remember where it was, but the whole, all the prisoners came out into the
Yeah,
courtyard and did
Thriller
the
dance.
Thriller dance. I mean, that's unbelievable, you know? Like,
I think it was like not too long ago they did a survey and more people knew who Michael Jackson was than they did who Jesus was.
yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
But that's the level. That is the level
Yeah.
we're talking. And
And
can't
to then
erase the
just say,
music.
okay, he never existed. We're gonna forget all about his music and everything he's ever done. I just don't think it's possible to do that.
People who like spend their lives like following him around, like dedicated their lives to like being a Michael Jackson fan, going to every single one of his gigs. Like that's their life, and then something like this happens, and what you're just supposed to like.
And what happens?
Be like, oh, all of this, my entire 50, 60 years of my life that I just spent watching this guy. I've just, oh well, it was all for nothing because he did some bad things. But they are very bad things if they come off. But it's like, well, I don't get what people expect.
What
to
you
just boycott everything.
You say that? What about Thriller in the West End? What about all the touring tributes as well? Like they are not doing anything wrong. They're
There's a
celebrating
Michael
his
Jackson
music.
Cirque du Soleil thing. There's
So
there's impersonators and like all sorts of dancing acts.
It's another level, man.
Yeah. What do you say to someone
I
working like
yeah.
in Thriller?
I honestly don't think anything will come of it. I mean, in regards to like what we're talking about with music being banned, like on a big scale, and people like actually caring. I know it's bad to say. Like, it's not about not caring about the people that are affected, and if it's all true, it's about
I think
the
it's
music.
just
It's
a
about
temporary thing. I think in
I think
6
it's
months or maybe a year,
it's the way the world
they'll
is at the
start.
moment.
BBC Radio 2 will probably start playing his music again.
Yeah,
Everyone's just so
It's
like.
just-
it's not gonna.
It's the big story of the day, and they're reacting to the outrage.
People don't want to offend because they don't want to deal with the complaints of how can you play paedophiles music. They just happen to be like, okay, we won't play it. Like it'll all come around, man. I don't know. It's just in the news now.
Yeah.
People are thinking about it now. He said in a year's time, man. Well, I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. We
We just
don't know,
don't know.
but we're presuming.
So a question for you both is
Wow,
is
3
what
minutes
is watching
3
this
minutes left.
documentary.
Is that the?
3.5?
No.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes.
Damn, that's a fast podcast. That's a fast episode.
Is it going to affect you guys when you listen to Michael Jackson music now? Is any of this, any of the documentaries
No.
information
No.
going to affect that?
No, the thing I think for my, I was trying to try to say this quick. For me, it won't affect me in the way that I
So
think
you'll still be able to celebrate his music, dance to it, and love it, and it won't change.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't. At the moment, I don't go out my way to listen to Michael Jackson. Like that was kind of like a period of my life, like when I was growing up and listening to music, and like I mean, it's such an early part of my life, like pretty much when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like Michael Jackson was there, Yeah, so I mean, it's nostalgia for me. So
What about you?
No, it won't change it. I mean, I'll still, if it comes true, I'll still be like, yeah, that was a very fucked up thing he did, but music's there, man. It's been created. Like you said, it's all these
he's not
other
playing
people.
like there's bass lines, there's
Yeah.
drum lines,
Oh,
there's
man, it's just
you know.
great. For me personally, some people hate Michael Jackson's music, but for me,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
love it. I just think it's great, and I don't ever listen to a piece of music and think, I wonder what that guy's like personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what about you, Dave?
I think the kind of raw in the moment. I think it's hard for me to look at him in
Same
kind of
way.
the reverence that I used to, because I just think there's so much overwhelming information that just suggests even if he didn't do the physical acts he's accused of, he still did a lot of inappropriate things. Having said that, I'll never be able to not listen to the music because it's just some of my favourite music ever. So
Oh,
I'm
too
never-
much music.
Him as a
Yeah.
person, like.
I don't care.
As I said,
I mean,
none
like
of us
not in
knew-
a bad way, but
yeah,
like
the
it's
same. None of us knew personally.
Yeah.
So these bad things.
yeah. But it's not like you're gonna go around worshiping him or something like the
Never buy a
us
t-shirt or
listen,
have a
us yeah
tattoo
exactly.
or-
Us listening to his music is not us agreeing with anything he did in his personal life. It's our musical taste.
Just enjoying the art.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
more people are involved in that. He's clearly and always will be a talented, incredibly talented artist in the music scene and dance scene, I guess, as well. And for us, that's like part of it, We are
Yeah.
musicians. We love music. Everything because music is free. Music,
5 seconds.
5 seconds. All right, for the people watching YouTube, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Peace out.
Bye.
Yep.